Holiday. Welcome to one of my live stream lectures while this morning I'm here on this walking trail. And before I get into this lecture, I just want to thank everyone and let everybody know that my YouTube channel has now reached well over 132,000 plus subscribers. And none of that would have been possible without all of my supporters and viewers, sponsor members. And I really do want to thank everyone for that. And also, do not forget to mark your calendar for Saturday from 11 a.m. to 12 noon. I'm going to do another Power live stream lecture. I'm going to give insight on my guided tour to Cairo, Egypt. That was a spiritual journey. So with that being said, let's get down to today's lecture. You know, I've been wanting to revisit this lecture for a while in terms of the importance of slowing down. The importance of slowing down. You know, society has programmed people into thinking that multitasking is the way to go, but it's not. You're not getting everything done the way it should be done when you're multitasking, running around trying to do multiple things simultaneously. You know, all that really does is cause emotional and physical stress on your body. And I'm here to tell you, it causes emotional and physical undue stress on your body. And you know, I've really been tapping into and understanding the power of slowing down for several years, to be honest with you. You gotta, in order to know what's going on in front of you, when you're going about your everyday life, grocery store, gas station, work, you know, when you're moving around and trying to multitask so much and moving so fast, you're missing out on what's going on right in front of you. You know, the interaction that's going on in front of you. You got to pay attention to your surroundings. But if people are always multitasking, on the phone, doing multiple things at one time, got that doggone cell phone glued to their hand, you're missing out on what's really going on in front of you. Because throughout life, you know, I really saw this when I went to Cairo, Egypt, because when you go to these third world countries, you know, scammers already know you're going to be preoccupied, and that's how they get that's how they scam tourist people when they're visiting, because they're multitasking, they're on the doggone phone, and before you realize it, that person walked up to you and stole your purse or your wallet or whatever, because you ain't paying attention. And that goes on, and that's true here. You know, you got all this stuff going on, you're multitasking, you're on the phone. So when people approach you anywhere you go, they first of all have already scoped you out. They've already scoped you out before they even approach you. And it's going to be real easy to get you distracted. And before when you look up, your stuff missing. So I say that to say, slow down. Pay attention to what's in front of you. Pay attention to the words that are coming out of people's mouth. Observe their behavior. And you can't do all that if you're multitasking. This thing is real, you know, and even in business dealings, rather it's your personal business, of everyday business, on the job, you know, people will literally approach you with all that fast talking because you ain't really paying attention. You know, you look up, and I've talked to a lot of people who have been ripped off throughout their life in many types of transactions, business transactions, all because they're not paying attention. This thing is real. Rather you are in the community or on the job, in school, even with certain family members, church, you have got to slow down and pay attention to what a person, number one, is saying, and then you got to observe their behavior to determine if their behavior is matching the words that are coming out of their mouth. Because I always tell everybody, talk is cheap. Talk is real cheap. I'm going to listen. And I'm also going to be in tune to what you do in your action. And that's even if you're dealing with contractors who are doing work on your car, your house, any kind of business transaction. I'm going to pay attention, first of all, to what you're saying. And number two, you got to have some documentation to back it up. And number three, I'm paying attention to behavior. And because most people, because they're too busy multitasking, they're not listening to the words that are coming out of people's mouth. Then they get upset when they realize they've been ripped off on getting work done on their car, work done on their house, repairs to the house, maybe a business transaction. Someone may have approached you about this great idea about a business transaction and how you're going to make all of this money. Now you look up and realize, and I hear it all the time, you've been ripped off with $4 or $5 or $10, $20, $30,000, all because you're not slowing down and paying attention to the words that come out of the person's mouth. And this thing is real. And so multitasking is not going to get you anywhere, but tired, emotionally tired, physically tired. And I'm going to use myself as a prime example because I've always paid attention to people. I've, throughout being a homeowner, I've had lots of work done on my home throughout the years as a homeowner. And any contractor that I deal with, number one, I'm paying attention to the words that come out of your mouth. Number two, you're going to have some documentation to back up in terms of what you say you're going to do. And number three, you ain't getting all of the money up front. Don't care how fast you're talking. That don't impress me. No, I'm about show me the results. And even with utilizing all of the skills, that don't mean they ain't never been ripped off. But what I can say is I discern real quick when a person's ripping me off because I'm paying attention to the work that you're supposed to produce. And that work ain't moving too fast and you about all that talking, then I'm telling you because I'm paying attention. And this goes on in every aspect of life. And that ties into the importance of slowing your behind down. Pay attention to what's going on in front of you. Put that cell phone down. Read books. Do things that require for you to slow down. Read a book or watch a movie from start to finish. Have real life conversations with people, your friends and your family member, versus multitasking, always having that phone in your hand because you ain't really giving that person all of your attention. And I'm here to tell you, that's why around the holidays, so many people get things stolen from them. They get scammed because there's so many scam artists out there that they're targeting people who they see, number one, got the cell phone in their hand, talking on the cell phone, walking with somebody else at the same time, talking to who they're talking to, who they're walking with on the cell phone, ain't paying attention to their surroundings. They look up, the purse is missing, some of the gifts are stolen or whatever, all because they're not paying attention to what's going on in front of you. And I'm telling you, that can be life-saving when you are aware of what's going on in front of you, especially if you're traveling. If you are traveling abroad, and I've always known this, even when I'm in the military, when I was in the military, when your behind is traveling abroad, you better be paying attention to what's in front of you, what's behind you, what's to the left, what's to the right, and you better be observing your environment because the minute you step foot off that plane, you have already been marked. Somebody has already observed you. And when they targeted people who they perceive would be an easy target, rather than male or female, and I'm here to tell you, this thing is real. And that's why I spent a lot of time in Cairo, Egypt, even though I was with a guided, a lot of time in Cairo, Egypt, Market Square, literally spending time in a Market Square, going around those Egyptians and sitting down right in the midst of them and observe folks watching me. They couldn't figure me out. I wasn't walking around with no cell phone in my hand and looking lost. No, I blend in. I went and sat before them, and I observe, and I watch, and I held conversations, because they speak the language for hours and for days, using my survival skills. And that don't mean many Egyptian scammers then approach me with a scam, trying to veer me off away from the team. But the beauty of that is, the minute they came towards me, I see you. I'm scoping you out already before you come to me with that mess. And it happened to me multiple times. So if I'm aware of what's going on in front of me, behind me, left, right, all the way around, I'm telling you, imagine what they would have done to somebody who was not paying attention in a third world with the agenda to get you veer off your path and God knows what. But that don't just happen in third worlds. It happens right here in the United States, where people, grown people, getting snatched every single day, all because they ain't paying attention to what's in front of them. This thing is real. In order to do that, you got to slow your behind down and know what's going on around you. And I'm here to tell you. And again, this is a topic I've been wanting to revisit for a while. And I'm telling you, when you slow down, you make better decisions. You make clear decisions. You are not stressing yourself out emotionally or physically when you slow down. When you slow down, you can also be able to discern the gift that God gave us in terms of having the ability to discern a bad person, good person. But if you're rushing around, with your chicken with your head cut off, then you are moving too fast. You ain't able to discern nothing. And I'm here to tell you, this is serious stuff. This is serious stuff. Because I don't know what it is in the past several months, all because I understand the power of slowing down, I'm being able to pick up on people's real agenda. It's just so evident. But imagine if I would have been moving too fast, I wouldn't have been able to pick up on people's real agenda. And this thing is real. And I'm telling you, multitasking and moving fast serves no purpose. And that's another reason why a lot of jobs, a lot of companies, they now have policies in place where you ain't gonna be on that job on your doggone cell phone. They ain't paying you to be on your cell phone. They paying for you to perform the essential functions of your job versus being on your cell phone, being on social media, and still trying to make them supervisors think you doing your job. No, you ain't doing your job. If you on your cell phone every time your supervisor looked up, you on social media, they ain't paying you for all that. And because they discovered that people productivity on the job was going down and down and down. Everybody want that cell phone in their hand. And now many companies have incorporated policies in place where when you're that, they do not want to see that cell phone out. They're not paying people to be on their cell phone and social media. They're paying folks to perform the essential functions of your job. Prior to me retiring in September of 2023 from state government, and I was a supervisor, our agency had already had policies in place for years where we could not bring the cell phone in the building. They didn't want the cell phone on you. They didn't want the cell phone in the building, and they meant that. We had to leave our cell phone in our car. And as a supervisor, I couldn't even have my cell phone on me. And if he got caught with that cell phone, that was grounds for immediate termination. They had the policies and procedures in place because they got fed up with folks on these job companies have incorporated this. And how we communicated on the job, because I work for a huge organization. There was multiple buildings. And even as a supervisor, I could not have my cell phone on me. If you even got caught with that phone in the building, you will lose your job. And how we communicated old school. Supervisors, we had walkie-talkies where we communicated that way. If a person had an emergency that came about, they had to tell family members that that person had to call the operator, and that operator will notify you. And I've seen many people lose their jobs by trying to sneak the cell phone in the building, and they got caught, and that was grounds for immediate termination. So companies have wised up because they understand that they were losing too much productivity with folks trying to be on the cell phone, be on social media, and at the same time doing 10% of their work. And I don't blame these organizations, because, they ain't hiring folks to go to work and then you ain't doing your job. So this ties into to validate that you're not going to be able to get what you need to get done in terms of multitasking and trying to do everything simultaneously at the same time. So it validates you got to slow down, pay attention to what's in front of you, pay attention to the essential functions of your job, pay attention to your surroundings when you're out here in this world, and I'm here to tell you. So that's all I have on this topic. Again, mark your calendar for Saturday, January the 6th. I'm going to do my powerful live stream lecture starting from 11 o'clock in the morning for 1 hour. That's going to also be a powerful time for other content creators to cross collaborate. It's all about the power of collaboration. That's all I have. Simplify, simple fidelis, and I'm leaving you in the care of your own conscience. Have a great day.